Scoot flight TR29 service to Singapore.
So you're probably asking, what am I doing? And believe me, I ask myself the same thing every single day. But I'm heading to Indonesia to actually visit my girlfriend who's in Jakarta. Well, now you might be asking, why are you going to Singapore first? Isn't that like an extra 3-hour flight? And yes, it is, but I'm really cheap and I can save like $400 by taking a flight with a 21-hour layover compared to flying direct. So here we are. You're probably also wondering why my girlfriend is in Jakarta. To that I'd say, stop asking me so many questions.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm firmly and proudly in standing up as soon as the plane arrives. I'll tell you why, because I've just been sitting down for several hours, so like as soon as I can stand up, I am going to stand up. So yeah, I'm very proud to be one of those people who stand up straight away. It didn't used to be like that, but I am now. So I've been sitting down for too long, I want to stand up.
So since I have so much time in Singapore, I figured I'd just explore as much as I can and see what kind of shots I can get in that 21 hours. I didn't plan on spending any money. I didn't even actually book any accommodation. I was just going to head back to the airport and find somewhere to sleep when I was done. Anyway, the first shot on the cards was at the airport itself.
Even though it's not an original shot, this shot would be such a banger if this Christmas tree wasn't here. So I'm like the Grinch right now, but it would be a banger.
Yeah, this is a super photographed spot and it's not super interesting, but hey, I've never shot it before, so it's interesting to me. I wanted to go up here to get a photo, but you had to pay to get access and I just didn't want to fork out for it, so I ended up getting the shot here with the Christmas tree. Also, all the images in this video have been color graded with Dehancer. I use Dehancer for specific things in each image. Sometimes I use it for its effects, like its bloom inhalation and film grain, or sometimes I use a film profile as well as the effects. But each image has some basic adjustments in Lightroom. You'll be able to see what I use Dehancer for in each image on the bottom right hand corner. If you like how these photos turned out and want to give Dehancer a go, then check the link in the description and use code MADDY10 to get 10% off any purchase. Right now, that would be the best way to support this channel. Anyway, back to the video.
Thank you very much.
So the one is $11.
$11?
Okay, I'll check for you.
Oh, sure, I need that,
I'll
sorry.
take this one.
So before I left the airport, I dropped off my main bag and planned to walk around the city with just my 3-litre camera satchel. But honestly, this is just a bad idea because I had way too much gear with me. And that just made taking photos super difficult. And I know, poor me. But seriously, I had my Sony A7CR, I had my favorite lens with me, the Samyang 35mm f1.8, and a new lens that I just grabbed, the Sony 20-70mm f4. And this is a small lens in itself, but a 3-litre camera bag can only really comfortably carry like one mirrorless camera and a zoom lens, so I was already kind of pushing the limits. Not to mention I had my phone with me to film BTS, I had this freaking huge ND filter for the phone, I swear I'm not compensating for anything. I had a mini tripod attached to the camera bag, had a couple extra camera batteries that I really didn't even need. I also had to carry my insulin with me because, fun fact, I'm a diabetic. And lastly, I had my raincoat with me because it was supposed to rain, but it never actually did, so I just ended up wrapping it around my waist all day. So yeah, I just had way too much stuff with me, and every time I wanted to take a shot, I had to juggle everything around and move things from pocket to pocket, from the camera bag into my pocket, and from my pocket into the camera bag. You get the picture. And that just made the whole process just super difficult, needlessly difficult. Anyway, after being in the airport for like an hour and a half already, I finally left to start this 21-hour photo challenge.
Before I do anything though, I've been up since 3 AM and it's now like 12:30. So I'm gonna get some food before I take any photos. Can't operate when I'm hungry. And even when I am not hungry, I still can't operate very well. I think I used that joke in the last video, but it's true.
On the way to the lunch spot, I came across these colourful apartment buildings. It kind of reminded me of that famous police station in the city with those colourful blinds. I actually planned to visit that police station to get some shots, but spoiler alert, I never actually made it, so I guess these apartment buildings will have to do.
Hi there, how are you? Can I please get
So this meal is where I realized I made a huge mistake on this trip. For whatever reason, I didn't bring my physical bank card with me, which was a huge mistake that kept biting me for the next few weeks. I'm an idiot for thinking that I could just get away with PayWave, like tapping my digital card anywhere. But in Southeast Asia, or at least where I was going, that wasn't really a possibility. So I had to rely on cash, but I couldn't get cash because I didn't have a physical bank card. This wasn't going to be a big issue in Singapore, like most places do take contactless here. I just happened to visit a mom and pop place that didn't accept it, but Indonesia would be a different story. The whole time I was there, I couldn't find an ATM that would let me take out cash by tapping. And the cash apps that you can use like GoPay wouldn't accept international cards, so I couldn't even use those. So yeah, I couldn't pay for that meal, but the lady ended up giving me it for free because I had no money with me, which was really kind. But yeah, lesson learned, take your physical bank card with you next time. Anyway, I'd wasted a lot of the day already, so after all that, I just picked a random train station and ended up at Little India. It had been a slow start to the day. I'd been up for several hours already, and I was already tired before even starting, so I was just really eager to start taking photos by this point. Though honestly, by the time I started taking photos, I just wasn't really feeling it. I don't know if it's because I was super tired from travel and all that, but yeah, I was just really struggling to capture anything that I was happy with. I think this is the only shot worth showing from this little walk, and calling it good would be a stretch, but it's better than anything else I got. So yeah, pretty quickly I decided to bail from that part of town and I headed more towards the city. And I ended up coming across this little overpass along the way.
This is kind of the first little bit of architecture or whatever you want to call it that's actually inspired me to take a photo. So I'm just going to set up shop here, see what I can cook up.
Again, just another okay shot. I think I was just really struggling at this point. On this trip, I was hoping to get some specific kinds of shots that I don't normally get. I've just been hit with all these street shots that are kinda in your face, kinda run and gun photos on social media by these like really incredible photographers. And I was hoping on this trip that I could just jump in and start taking photos of that caliber that I've been seeing online, but it doesn't really work like that. For one, I'm a pretty anxious and reserved street photographer. I like keeping my distance. I hate getting in people's faces. So that really already limits what I'm comfortable capturing. When I was thinking about this, I came across this beam of light, and honestly, this one's a banger. I just need to keep things simple, just look for patches of good light. That's really what I like capturing in street photos. All we have here are just some yellow chairs and a little streak of sunlight, and it's just a great image. I think what would make it better is if someone was sitting in those chairs and the slash of light was making them pop out. And I did wait for that to happen, but there was no luck after a couple of minutes. Anyway, I spent the rest of the day with all that in mind. Just keep it simple, look for patches of good light, and everything else will just fall into place. A little bit further on, I found this building with some nice light, and it was pretty much exactly what I've been looking for. Glad I decided to walk towards the city from Little India, because if I caught any public transport, I just would have missed this spot. There's nothing interesting about it, and most unique and interesting places aren't even on Google Maps or anything, so it's just a reminder of how important it is to walk and find these little spots by yourself when you're taking photos. I hadn't been feeling too great up until now about what I was capturing, but yeah, this spot really gave me a boost of energy and a second wind to shoot a little bit more.
Catching public transport is like the biggest enemy to street photography, because you can't just expect yourself, you just can't expect to catch a bus or a train somewhere and get out and capture some bangers. Like, you gotta walk, because you see so much little details. Like, if I caught the train to wherever I'm going, I don't know where I'm going, but if I caught a train into the CBD, I would have missed that building, you know what I mean? That's what I was doing this morning. I was just catching, like, granted I did start at the airport, so I didn't need to catch a train, but yeah, like, public transport is the enemy of street photography. You got to walk everywhere. That's where you find these little nuggets of gold.
So not to immediately contradict myself, like, you do really need to walk everywhere, but with that said, it was starting to get late in the afternoon, and with the sun starting to get lower in the sky, I kind of wanted to head into the CBD to see if I could get any more slashes of light among those tall buildings. So I did end up catching a bus into the city because I would have missed any good light otherwise. So pretty quickly I stumbled across one of those light streaks that I was talking about, so I set up shop. I went for a black and white edit here, mainly because I think the interesting thing about the image is the light and shadows, and interesting is a very strong word. I'm not really sure I properly captured this. Here's a color version for comparison. It's not too bad, but I still think I prefer a black and white edit. Though I think it would have been a better shot if I just took a couple steps back, so I could have gotten that whole archway on the right in frame. In hindsight, I'm not too sure why I didn't do that, but it is what it is.
I'm not sure that I fully captured that, but I don't want to waste any more light, so I'm moving on.
So that streak of light was really the only one I found. It just got a bit too overcast to get any streaks of light, and the sun was a bit too low in the sky and was just being blocked by all the buildings. I started taking some telephoto shots of the buildings and their reflections, and in the editing room, these photos actually turned out pretty good. They look kinda abstract, and I just really like that. But yeah, in the moment, I wasn't exactly vibing with these shots. But honestly, I think they're some of my favorites from the whole walk.
I think I found that second wind before, but now I'm just starting to lose it again. I'm just not really getting those shots that I wanted to get. I'm having fun walking through the city, but I'm not really vibing with the shots that I'm getting. So, look, I've still got like 13 hours left. It's starting to get pretty low light. Like, the lighting really isn't working for me right now. In like this CBD area, I thought I was going to find more patches of light that I found straight away. Like that one patch of light, I thought I was going to find more of that, but I'm just not. So keep walking around, see what I can get. But yeah, I'm kind of losing that second wind. So we'll see what happens.
Shortly after that, I found this corridor. And I really like this shot. It's just such a me photo. It has a frame within a frame, it has leading lines, it's backlit, has a silhouette subject. Like, it's not really a unique frame, and I remember thinking that when I was taking this photo. Like, I've taken this photo so many times, but it just has everything I like in a photograph, so here it is. I really like the halation and bloom here. This is just a great example of where Dehance's effects can really shine.
I just stumbled across this place, which looks really cool, but sunset's in like 40 minutes, so I'm gonna see if I can find a better spot. It's cool though.
So with the sunset coming up, I decided to head to the Marina Barrage to get a good view of the city skyline. It was still a decent walk away, so I was in a bit of a rush to get to the right spot to make any use of the good light.
So I need to get over there to properly capture that. I need to get over there. I don't know if I can do it. Hey, rush. Light's going quick.
So instead of actually picking up the pace, I just immediately gave up and fired off a shot here before any of the light went away. And it's pretty good. I like that the city skyline is in silhouette. Honestly, it probably would have been a bit better if I waited a tad longer for the city lights to turn on, because I think that would have really elevated this shot.
So I've done like 25,000 steps today. I've been wearing this, by the way, these clothes. So I think I'm just gonna take it easy. I'm gonna go all the way down there. I'm gonna do this whole loop. I've never actually been here before. The amount of times I've been to Singapore, I've never actually done this whole loop. So I'll see what it's all about. And I'm just gonna take it easy. I'm probably not gonna take any more photos. I think the light's pretty much gone. Like, it actually does look pretty cool over there, but like, I'm not sure what kind of cool shots I can get. I think I'm just gonna be taking photos for the sake of taking photos. Instead, I think I'm just gonna enjoy. Just take it easy, have a chill walk. And I think, all things considered, like, I had no plan. The plan was to have no plan, and I think, I did what I could. I'm sure there are some bangers in there. I'm not done for the night. Like, I still am going to take some more photos, but I'm not going to prioritize them. I'm just going to prioritize just having a chill walk and just having a chill night. I think I'm just going to prioritize having a chill night. So, still got like 12 hours left though, so I still got plenty of time if I change my mind.
The walk was so nice, but it was a bit longer than I expected, about another 13,000 steps. But once the lights of the buildings came on, I did end up grabbing just a couple more shots of the skyline. Anyway, I finally reached the end of the strip, and by this stage I was proper tired and just super hungry, so I made my way into the city for some food before one last photo spot. I made it to this famous hawker centre and ordered enough food to put back on any possible calories I could have burnt after walking about 34,000 steps during the day. After I ate it all, there was one more spot that I wanted to visit to get a shot of the city skyline, and it was about a 10-minute walk away.
I was going to shoot it on my 35 f1.8, but 35 isn't light enough, so I'm going to bring out the f4. But there should be enough light to get a good image.
Is this shot any good? Nah, not really. Was it worth making one last detour? Absolutely.
Okay, that's it. It's the one and only thing that I wanted to capture, and I don't even know if it was worth it. But time to head back to the airport and finally have a rest, have a sleep. It is 9:30 and my flight is at 7:55, so I still have 10 hours. But yeah.
So I got back to the airport at about 11 or 11:30 p.m. And turns out with my booking that I had free access to a VIP lounge, so I went there to take a rest. But I didn't know I only had 2 hours there, so after 2 hours I was woken up and I had to go find somewhere else in the airport to take photos. But anyway, thanks for sticking around for this long. If you like what you've seen, make sure you subscribe. I've got a couple more videos coming out. They might take a bit longer to edit because I'm traveling at the moment, but they are some bangers, so keep an eye out for those. If you like the photos that you saw in this video, they were edited with Dehancer, so check the description if you want to check it out. Use code Matty10 if you want to make a purchase to save 10%. Anyway, see you in Jakarta.